So reaction videos are a pretty big thing on YouTube. I see. Oh man. So um I'm doing I'm it's I just posted my reaction video of Alpha Betas literally 4 hours ago, and it already has, I'd say, twice, like, no, not twice, like it has more views than my entire vlog series of the Owl House combined. And it's only been, let's see if I said, it's been 4 hours, and it's just I'm not surprised. It's a reaction video, and it's just usually reaction videos get a lot of views. So I mean, well, compared to with my channel, that definitely 70 views within 4 hours is pretty fast. But does that mean I'm gonna stop doing these? No. I mean, I'd love to like actually film my reactions to these episodes of the Owl House, but obviously I can't really do that with, Disney, with just the copyright things, and just I've been juggling the idea of doing a Patreon so that way I can do the full length reaction there and then just like snippet the highlights onto YouTube. But at the same time, I don't know if adding a Patreon account for me right now is the best idea, because I'm in college, so I'm really just doing these for fun. But I mean, I guess really, if I did reactions to TV shows or movies and stuff, it would literally just be the highlight reels, not the full length reaction. So pick your poison. If you guys want me to do that, if you guys want me to actually start reacting to movies and TV shows on the channel, like I said, there'll be highlight reels, but I'll do it if you want me to. Those who are watching this vlog. So this is episode 8, Once Upon a Swap. I'll be honest, I don't hate this episode, but I don't like this episode either. I mean, it's in that fair middle ground for me where I'm like, if it's on, I'll watch it, but I won't be too into it. Because there are moments in the episode where I'm like, okay, I've seen that before. Because Once Upon a Swap, it's a body swap episode, and with Disney, that's pretty much like a Disney channel show tradition, like nearly every single episode, every single Disney show has had a body swap episode. Almost every single one of them has had at least one episode where they swap bodies. And so I guess when I saw this episode, I'm like, oh, we're doing this again, of course. But, it's the Owl House, so they have their little spin with it. They have a few nice moments, but again, it's just the fact that I've seen this done so many times. I kind of get the tropes. Like, the biggest one being in this episode is the reason why they swap bodies because they all made a bet that they could do better in the other person's body than they can in their own bodies. And you can probably guess what the lesson by the end of the episode is. Everyone's life is pretty rough despite how it looks. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the episode. So Luz, Ida, and King, they all make their bets, and so okay, so sorry, there's something right here that's okay, there we go. So there's for Ida and King, it makes sense. Well, I mean, for King, it makes sense. Like, King he really hates being a little cat. So he feels like he can do more. Like, there's a moment where he tries to threaten Basha, but Basha, just seeing him, just like blushes, grabs him, takes a cute selfie with them, even though King is trying to fight her off, but it's not. So he obviously wants to. He always believes. He basically tells Luz that he can probably do better as a teenager than she can, and then Ida then says, "Wait a minute. Well, what about you? What about you? You get to sit around all day and do nothing. I'd be killed for that." And then Luz is like, "What do you mean? You're here with this? You have this booth. You're the most powerful witch in the Boiling Isles. Why are you so?" It's like, you can literally shop. And she's like, and then of course Ida's like, but I'm the most wanted thing on the Isles either too. And then Luce is like, but you're the most powerful witch on the Isles too. Why are you so afraid of the guards catching you? And Yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, I love how Ida just gets straight to the point. She's like, "All right, there's only one way to settle this. We're gonna swap bodies." So they swap their bodies, and so Luz becomes Ida, Ida becomes King, and King becomes Luz. And I think of the three, I liked King as Luz the best, mainly because it's Alex Hirsch going from being in a cat's body and acting like Bill Cipher to now being in the body of a teenager and acting like Bill Cipher. I definitely got a lot of laughs out of him when he was in Luce's body, just terrorizing the town basically. Um, so the three make their bed and then they go off on their. Luce stays at the booth because he said she can sell everything there in Ida's body. Ida goes off in King's body to basically do whatever she wants, and King goes off in Luce's body to basically take over. So then it goes into an anthology story. So it goes Ida first, then King, then it wraps up with Luce, and then the three meet back up. So Ida's, and again, since I've seen so many body swap episodes, and I know the trope that they were gonna do. It's like at first it seems like in each of the stories, at first it seems, oh yeah, we're so this is easy, we can do this. Like Ida, Ida's walking around, she gets a lollipop from a guard, she then gets taken in by these two old ladies, and at first it's like she's being treated like royalty, but then of course it goes south, and so the old ladies that take her in are the owners of this kitty cafe where no teens are allowed, and Ida soon finds out that all the little cats and creatures that they take in aren't exactly. There's a scene where Ida goes into the back room and there's just this creepy back room of like there's little creatures on the rocking chairs and they're just dead inside and they're just reciting these words and it's just like Edith's just creeped out and like there's this other cat that comes in and he's like they've consumed themselves with the what they are, their brains are now mush, and I'm like, okay, this is a kid show. And so Ida tries to escape but fails, and she gets set up at the front of the kitty cafe in a bumblebee costume, and she can't escape. And so of course she then, and that moment Rios is like, oh okay, King kind of doesn't have it easy. So then speaking of King, they go to King, who is he finds Basha and her group at the Treasure Shack. I don't know if that's a nod to the Mystery Shack or not. It's just their little hangout space. So he goes there, and I like some of the things that they have there. Like the start, they have water balloons that sprout tentacles when you throw them. Like you throw them, they splash, and then tentacles sprout up. That's cool. Then of course they have winged shoes. I'm surprised it took them 8 episodes, I should say. Yeah, I'm surprised it took them 8 episodes to actually have that coming. Winged shoes, like King. So yeah, he takes the whole bag of water balloons, tosses it at the town, and then he just throws on his wing shoes and he's like, how would you like to spend the day with me? And like I said, it's basically Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls. He's just acting like a tyrant, just wanting to have fun, and they do. Like he and everyone except, and he and Basha's group wreak havoc, except for Basha, because she then, like, it seems like everything's going well, and then Basha confronts King and challenges him to a race. I was surprised. I thought the first time I watched this, she was gonna say witches duel, and I was like, because I figured she could easily take Luz in a witches duel, because remember not to mention it's King in Luz's body, so he probably doesn't even know how to do the light spell, the only spell that Luz learned so far, and so. Nope, they do a race on Dead Man's Curve. I don't know if that's enough. Dead Man's Chest from Pirates of the Caribbean just popped in my mind. But it's basically this highway that's, I wouldn't say the best highway, And then it goes a little further. They race on giant rat worms. Yeah, we're just adding to that. So King accepts the challenge. I also love how he keeps describing them in such weird ways, like normal teenager. Like, I accept your. Yeah, it's crazy. So King races Basha, and it looks like, and King actually has a chance. It looks like he's gonna win. But Basha pulls away because there's a gap in the bridge, and I'm just gonna say he could have made that jump. Like he pulls up too, but it's too late, so he falls over the edge. But it really the gap. I wouldn't even argue the gap was 10 feet. And this I was like how fast he was going. Maybe he could have made the jump. It's a nitpick. So he falls over the gap and apparently right onto the treasure shack. That's a pretty peculiar place to put your treasure shack. Right underneath the gap of a bridge that or a highway that. So of course everyone gets mad. Well, actually, it's like the group is like one of the guys in the group is like, I'm filled with so much emotion. I don't know what to do. And then Bosch is just like, get her. So King runs off and then he spouts his message. He's like, wow, Luce definitely doesn't have it easy. I want my body back. So then we go to Luce, who and eat his body. I don't know why I didn't notice this the first time. She has one of the first things she's doing is trying to walk in heels, and she fails miserably. So it's like she's very, she can't even imagine. She's like wondering how the heck does Ida do that? How does honestly I don't even know. I mean, I don't know how girls walk in heels. I've done a lot. I'm a sprinter in track and field, so like I know running on the balls of your feet. I just don't know how to walk. I mean, walking on the balls of my feet are just, ugh. I doubt that's what it is for heels. If that's, because I don't know. I'm a guy. I don't know anything about girls. I'm lonely. So Luz, pretty much the same thing that happened with Luz that King and Ida went through. Luz at first is having fun with it. She's selling products left and right. She's making a lot of money, but then of course, and she's also making a bright shiny sign for Ida's place. And then the guards show up and it's like, we knew it was you because of this big obvious sign with your name on it. And I'm like, why would you do that? Even if you think you're the most powerful thing in the world, wouldn't you still want to stay under the radar? So, but Luce, of course, doesn't realize how much power she has because she accidentally, like, she makes, like, even the small circle she makes turns into a gigantic blast, like, knocks her back every time. Like, she even has mittens on, and only the front, how am I not, only, how am I brain farting? Only the index finger are showing. I don't know why I couldn't say that. Only so like she's able to do tiny spin, but even when she is able to do magic, she sometimes messes up here and there. Like one of the guards shows up and she tries to do a amnesia spell, but then but the pacifier just shows up in the guard's mouth instead. So they capture her. They cuff up Albert. Like this is his head. Like this is his head. They just take the cuff and just over his face. It's not even like a muzzle. It's just a literal cuff. That's just cruel. That's really just cruel. So, they take Luce to the precinct where Lilith shows up to interrogate her because it's like, oh, you captured my sister. This is gonna be really interesting. And then the guards are like, oh, we're just supposed to take her straight to the conformatorium. And then Lilith burns the report, and she's like, the plan is changed. So she. I'm sorry. Someone, I thought I heard a knock. So Lilith talks to Luce, but obviously it's not Lilith talks to Luce, but she doesn't realize that it's not Ida. And I'll admit, some of the dialogue that Luce has kind of does sound like Ida. She's very she's like, oh, this is a big misunderstanding. You see, I was just out selling stuff, and then just crazy facts. It's like oh yeah, I forgot to mention. She's like, they do a riff on Freaky Friday. They call it Freaky Fraturday. That's apparently the movie that Luce saw in the human world, and so on the cover it's a frat and a duck, frat boy and a duck. Honestly, I would love to see that movie. So Here's a little thing that they do add in the episode is Lilith mentions how Ida, like, she's like, join the coven. It's what we both were wanting since we were little. And so Luz is like, wait, Ida wanted to join the coven? So, she then accidentally casts a giant circle, like her arms are right here, and I think one of the guards tries to grab her hand so to go, and it starts going like this, and then she just froze and she just breaks out of the grip, and so accidentally makes a circle like that, and of course she doesn't know how to control her spell, so it's just a gigantic explosion that breaks through the wall of the precinct, and so Luz calls for Albert, because simple. So they get out, they break out, they take off, they find King and Ida. I'm trying to remember who's who in this. So they switch back, and then this was clever. So it's the classic body swap climax. All the enemies come in. And so they're like, what did you do? What did you do? What the heck did you do? And it's like, my personal favorite is Lilith coming in and just being like, your days are numbered. I will catch you. And then Ida's just like, thanks, Luz. And so Ida cleverly and horrifically at the same time gets him out of there by like swapping all the enemies' bodies. Like, Lilith becomes the body of a dog. Like, one of the guards become the bodies of the old ladies. One of the old ladies becoming the bodies of the teens, which was clever because, no teens allowed at the kitty cafe. So, and then they just pretty much leave him there. It's funny, they just leave him there, and, they fly away, and it's like, yeah, did everyone learn their lesson? Yeah, no one's... It's an okay episode. I mean, you can skip over it and not really miss much. I guess the little bit with Lilith talking about Ida when they were younger you could possibly do that, and yeah, but overall it's an okay episode. I mean, like I said, if it pops up on TV, I wouldn't, and I was forced, and if it popped up on TV and I was forced to watch it, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be happy, but I wouldn't be mad. So, if this is, for those watching, if this is one of your favorite episodes, sorry, that's just my opinion. I've seen so many body swap related shows and movies that it's it's just okay. Like I said, there are a few good jokes. There's a few good jokes that I like in this episode, but it's just not my cup of tea. So, well, hope to see you guys in the next one. We'll see how many views this one gets, considering my reaction video just knocked it out of the park, man. Yeah.